Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast. As we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. This is key. Call them today at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. And to kick off the week, to recap the Olympics, maybe talk some college basketball, and his favorite sport, some wrestling. He's my good friend, Chris Graham with the Augusta Free Press. Chris, how you doing today?
Great, Mark. Great to be back on the show with you, man.
All right, I have a question for you before we get to Olympic gold. So you were on a political news show in Washington, D.C. last week, and you did a phenomenal job. You really did. What were you breaking down? That's my first question. I can't.
Well, they ended up having me on 3 times last week. They must have had somebody like, quit on them or something. I don't know. Fox 5 DC had me on. I talked about Virginia's congressional redistricting. Let's see what else was there. It's funny. There were a couple other topics that came up, and that show is so fast paced. Like, this lady's walking around the studio and they have me on like 10 minutes before I go on so they can like seamlessly bring me in. And she's talking to a guy about Jesse Jackson dying. One day there was a thing about Google and Googling your medical symptoms. And then she goes from one to the other. And it's like, this lady knows everything. She's the smartest person in the world. And I'm just sitting there like, I hope I don't say anything stupid.
Dude, what did you do? Like the minimum wage? It was something like that.
Yeah, minimum wage. Yeah. The first one was minimum wage. Yeah. And so this lady, though, she just like knows everything. And I'm like, I want to vote for her for president. She's really good.
Okay. I bring this up because you did a phenomenal job talking all these different subjects. What was in your background? Did you have wrestling gear? Was it sports? What was in the?
Let's see. I got to move out of the way here a little bit. There's a Jim Cornette signed somebody got me that for my birthday a couple of years ago, so I got that in the background. I mean, I've got there's a Virginia signed basketball. Tony Bennett signed a basketball, and I've got it encased and I've got up above my head here to the left is the final. That's confetti from the national championship game in 2019 that I picked up off the floor on my way out of Minnesota. So yeah, this is in one corner. There's a Shawn Michaels poster. I sponsored. Crystal and I put together a show where we had Shawn Michaels here in my local area. So yeah, I mean, and there's also a signed copy of a Barack Obama book. So there's the one politics thing I got.
Yeah, because I thought about if you were going to be on to talk about these very important issues. I was like, is he going to have wrestling stuff behind him the whole time? Like, this guy does not mess around.
I watch, and we both watch enough and do enough of these things where, you see guests like on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, and they're from their home studio, and they've got like one book and like some random picture frame that they bought at Kmart or something. And I'm like, I put way too much time and effort into this background back here to not show it off on Fox 5 DC. So
that's right. You did a great job. You did. And you're smarter than that lady. All right. She's talented, but nobody beats the man, Chris Graham. Okay. Well, I'm coming up to your slogans.
Well, I don't know that she'll talk about wrestling the way we will later in this segment. So
no, I understand. All right. I just wanted to, I know that was 3 minutes right there. I've been waiting a week to ask you that question. So I had to ask.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what? I said this to you off air. I'm just going to say it. All right. Politics and news lately is just put on this earth to drive me crazy. Every 2 seconds, there's another headline. Did you see this? Did you see that? And it's just 24 hours. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Just, you're going crazy. You just want to be left alone and just relax for a minute. And then on top of that, my stupid Bears are like, you know what? We might move to Hammond, Indiana. And I was just like, I've had it. I've had it after a while. So I just want to thank the Olympics and all those athletes and all those coaches, and essentially Team USA, women's hockey, and then men's hockey, getting the gold medal. Dude, it was awesome. It was so inspirational and uplifting, and we're such an underdog when it comes to that sport. I loved it. Yeah. Did you love it over the last couple of days?
Yeah, especially, I think it was, what was it, Friday maybe? The day that the women's hockey won, and also the women's figure skating, the young lady won from the U.S. we have the TV on in our office here, usually for news, but the last 2 weeks it was for Olympics. And so you watch it live. Like, at night they give you the highlights because we had the time difference with Italy, 5 or 6 hour time difference. So watching it live, both those two things were going on pretty much at the same time. And you see, the young lady who's 20 years old, Alicia Liu, who wins the gold medal, and it was a little bit of an upset there, and she had retired because she was so frustrated with the sport. She came back, had fun, and then our women's hockey were so the U.S. was so dominant until the final, and they win in overtime. I mean, that day alone was incredible, and then Sunday waking up and another great hockey game. It goes once again to overtime for the gold medal between the U.S. and Canada. I mean, yeah, the last few days were really nice.
So my parents were at the Olympics. They went for the opening ceremony, and they were there for the first week. They're once in a lifetime, they did it. Okay, they're in their 70s. They said, what the heck, we're going to go. So my mom posted this story, and I want you to know this.
Mm-hmm.
She posted this story where the first couple days they're there, they're going to women's hockey to see the Americans play. They went to another game as well. I forget who they saw, but they're bumping into other Americans, which is cool. So there's this older gentleman they meet, and he's been to multiple Olympics. It's his thing. So they asked my parents, this guy, all right, what sport you going to do? My mom goes, hey, we're going to go see Team USA women's hockey. And he kind of shrugs her off like, when are you going to go see a real team play? My mom was so angry at this guy. So angry. So when the women won that gold medal, she couldn't wait to post that. So she's kept it inside of her for like a week and a half. I don't understand the male chauvinist of this story. Okay, you're flying to Italy. You are spending all this money. You are proud to be an American, but you're too much of a scumbag to root for the women? I don't understand that story. I don't.
And a dominant team too. Until the final, they had outscored their opponents 31-1. They had that long scoreless streak that was broken in the first period against Canada. So I mean, just an amazing run by that team. And so that one is even to me more, because the men's side, there's so many NHL players. Those women are like the Olympic ideal. I mean, they do this because they love it. They don't make a lot of money at it. And they're just out there representing their country. And so, yeah, dude, get over yourself as far as that goes.
Do you like overtime is only 3-on-3? I don't, but I'll take it for the win. What do you think?
I saw some arguments about this both ways. I mean, if you go 5-on-5 and you go through a whole 20 minutes and there's no scoring and then having it end in a shootout, which is what we used to do, yeah. I'd much rather it end in action than in a shootout, maybe 4-on-4. I mean, I know the NHL does 3-on-3. And also, though, I got to say this. I want to see some more 3-on-3 hockey is what I want to see. That's exciting. I mean,
okay. How many guys are going to be on the team then? Because you're going to be exhausted if you're doing 3-on-3 hockey.
Just have more line changes. I mean, they were, Canada's first line change in the men's game was like 40 seconds into the period. So it's like, and I told Crystal, I told my wife, we were watching it. I said, don't take your eyes off the screen. This is going to go quick.
Okay. When they scored Canada to make it 1-1, my brain is thinking, well, Canada's going to win now, because that's all we know in this country is we can't beat Canada, and they're going to get it done. And they didn't get it done. And dude, they had a 5-on-3 power play, and they couldn't score. Dude, that guy in net was a stud. What is it? Helichuk? He is a stud. What, he stopped 41 saves against probably the best team in the world. He was a stud, dude. It was awesome.
The second and third periods, Canada seemed like they were just camped out in front of the net. Like they controlled possession. They had all those shots, and even when they weren't shooting, they were throwing passing the puck around in front of the net, and it felt like a power play for 2 full periods that he had to take that onslaught. So the only one goal scoring somehow was just amazing. And so and then it was just great to see that last play. He faced initially it was a 2-on-none fast break. They got one guy back, got a stick on the puck, turned it into a fast break on the other end. Without all that, all those heroics, it's over way early.
Do you like the chipping of the tooth? And he kept, dude. The minute I have any pain, I'm going straight to the dentist. You talk about toughness. He kept going. It's completely chipped off. And he scored the goal. You can't make that up.
I love the way too. He knew he had, a chipped tooth, or it looked like at first it looked like teeth, not just one tooth. But he's smiling real big, right? I mean, it reminded me when I was in second grade, right before school pictures, I had lost literally my two front teeth. And my mom tells me before I go for school pictures, don't smile, don't smile. And of course I did this. I went, Arr! So, more immortalized in second grade is my missing tooth. That's what that guy did. Every picture you see of him, he's got blood. He's got missing teeth. He's a poster for dentistry. I mean, he's going to make some money, out of that from a marketing perspective later on.
It's all adrenaline. With that, where it's like, when it wore off, he was probably so much pain. So it's crazy when you think of the team, 2 sets of brothers, 2 sets. And what's funny is the Hughes family, there's 3 of them in the NHL. The third brother didn't make the team. That is wild. So again, Jack Hughes scores in overtime. He was born in Orlando, Florida. His dad was the coach of the Solar Bears. His mom was like an amazing collegiate and professional athlete for hockey, lacrosse, soccer. You can see it. So it's like the American dream. Jewish, Catholic, comes together, makes the 3 boys. They move around. They go to Canada. They go to Michigan. 3. When you think of one kid makes the pros, that's 1 in a million. Yeah. 3 brothers make it. Because when my perspective is, I think of the Kachuk brothers, because one of them plays for the Panthers and has won 2 Stanley Cups. Dude, the whole thing is a Disney movie. Even though they're pro athletes, it's a Disney movie. But could you say it's The Miracle Part 2? Is it at that level or is it not?
I don't know that it can be, because that 1980 team was a bunch of amateurs. They were cast-offs. The Russians, back then, it wasn't pro versus pro. The Russians the Soviets were pro players. They were full-time hockey players. They were given those show jobs in the army so they could play hockey their whole life. Our kids were literally from either Boston University or Minnesota Duluth. Yeah. And they lost to the Russians like 10-3, like a week before the Olympics. And they go out there and nobody expected them to even get to past the round robin. And for them to beat those Russians, and at that time too, I mean, from a political, talk about politics and sports, the U.S. is going to boycott the the Moscow Olympics in the summer because they were in Moscow in 1980. We were kind of at a low after the invasion of Afghanistan by the Russians. I mean, everything about that. And then those kids go out there who have no chance in the world of winning, and they win. I mean, it's great. It's, for the first time since 1980, our U.S. guys won a gold medal, but nothing in sports ever will top 1980 U.S. hockey.
I was born in 1982. I am not young. I've never seen us win the gold medal. That was new for me yesterday. So dude, the rest of the day, even into this morning, I'm just watching highlights of it. It just nonstop. And then the rabbit hole of YouTube starts showing me clips of Kurt Russell talking to Miracle, and I just start getting all in. I am. Now,
I've watched that documentary on HBO about the 80 hockey team about 100 times. At the last 10 minutes of it, I cry every time. It's like watching Field of Dreams for me.
It's the best. Now, the pop star top 40 angle of this. So Jack Hughes, I don't know if you know this. You only get this insight on our show. So Jack Hughes is allegedly dating pop star Tate McRae, who is Canadian, by the way. Oh, yeah, Here's what's interesting. So Tate McRae I know your wife's going to enjoy this. So Tate McRae was dating some professional Canadian player, and then allegedly he cheated on her. So every single pop hit she's come out with is about this Canadian hockey player. So to get back at him, she's now dating an American hockey star. Okay. She also got in trouble at the start of the Olympics. I don't know if you saw this, where
yes.
she was in a promo for NBC. Hey, the Americans are going to be at the Olympics. The Canadians didn't like that. No, because you're Canadian. So is she allowed back in her home country? I say no. I think it's over. And you got to give her I think you just get that Trump $5 million American citizenship. What are your thoughts?
Oh, she's definitely not going to be welcome back anytime soon.
Oh, no.
But Canadians are pretty forgiving people. Like on the other side, I don't know that we'd forgive. The Canadians are pretty much like, oh yeah, whatever, for now though, I mean, I wouldn't go back tomorrow, for example, if I were her.
No, I wouldn't. Was that your Canadian accent?
That's as good as it gets. Yeah.
I thought you'd enjoy that angle of the story, right?
Yeah, oh no,
yes.
I had forgotten that it was him that she was dating. I knew she'd done the commercial, so that's a good full circle thing. Yeah.
Oh man, that was awesome. So they won. It's over. Would you go if you had the opportunity, get credentialed and cover it? Would you go to Los Angeles in 2 years to cover an Olympics in your life?
Oh yeah, Los Angeles. Yeah, because I'm not much of a winter sports. I mean, except for hockey, and now curling. I'm an addict of curling. But because there was so much of that on the last 2 weeks,
it was too much curling after a while.
Curling. Oh, I want a curling channel now. I need like 24-hour curling. I need Sports Center for curling.
All right, wait. Before you give your answer,
would
you be the one that pushes it down the ice, or are you using the scraper?
Oh, I got to be the little brush guy, man. Those guys like. There was the one guy, he looked like he was about to pass out. He was brushing so hard on one of those. But then the other person, though, gets to yell at the person, like, you got to brush harder or whatever they're saying, because so much of that was in foreign languages that, like Swedish, especially Swedish. The Swedes are really good at this. So I don't know. I mean, it looks like my wife and I, we in the summertime, we go out in the backyard and play cornhole. It's like they should have cornhole in the Summer Olympics. I think that'd be the equivalent for curling.
Yeah. All right. So would you cover a Summer Olympics if you had the opportunity?
Oh, yeah. Just for the basketball. I mean, if I could just sit there and watch, and not just U.S. basketball, but all the basketball. I'd love to see some of those European squads. To me, basketball, Olympic basketball it's like, I mean, it's like the hockey, I guess. And plus you're not out of season, you're out of season. So you're not taking guys away from their teams. They've had a little bit more time to practice. And now with all the competition, U.S. versus world, I mean, heck, and then the track and field, there'd be some track and field things I'd want to run into as well. But really for the basketball, no question.
So that is a yes. So as we put a bow on it, go Team USA. That was awesome. We need more of those moments in this country. I can't stress this enough. It was awesome. I'm in such a good mood today. And I was like, look, 24 hours. Let's all be positive, kumbaya, and then we can get back to fighting tomorrow. Okay, let's do that. Let's make that the update.
Let's see if we can get through the 24 hours, all right?
All right. Let's go to college basketball. And that was really the reason I wanted to have Jan here with Chris Graham, Augusta Free Press. I have watched a lot of college basketball. You cover the ACC. You do a great job. And I know they dedicated Tony Bennett Court. Was that on Saturday? That's Saturday, cool. Yeah. UVA. I think the big one is Duke, who's been kind of, and you might disagree with me on this, it feels like Duke's been a little under the radar this year, right? And then they went neutral site, beat Michigan. Do you think Duke, a team you see all the time, do you think Duke is now like, all right, they're legitimate, we are the number one team in the country now?
What is different about this Duke team compared to previous Duke teams under John Shire and the last few of Coach K is that this team is playing defense at a high level. And it's hard. I mean, in this era, everybody has new teams. I mean, Duke has the experience of, years and years of one and dones where you've got to get a group in the spring and summer, and you got to turn them into a team by the fall. So Shire has a little bit of an advantage in that sense because he's been doing that as an assistant coach and a head coach now for 13 years. But what is hard to do if you're a Duke coach like John Shire, you're recruiting all these guys who are likely going to be there as freshmen for 1 year and go to the NBA, is to get them to buy. They can go out and score points and do what they need to do to be lottery picks and that kind of thing. But to get them to buy in to play defense is really hard. And what I think is so different about this Duke team is he's got this team bought into, we're going to play elite defense. In addition to, I mean, like, Cooper Flagg, obviously great talent. I mean, it's hard to say anything bad, but last year Shire over-relied on him in the big games, and that didn't pay off in the Final Four game, where, just one game he's just a little off, and they lose the game, especially down the stretch. His best player this year is the one of the Boozer twins, but the Camden Boozer, which of the Boozer is it? That's
I don't.
Carlos Boozer.
All I know, it's Carlos Boozer's sons.
Oh,
yeah.
So he's got them bought into, okay, look, we're not going to just do clear outs and it's your ball and you go do things. He's setting screens for guys. He's making passes. He's playing defense. He's rebounding in addition to, scoring when they need him to score. So, they've built a team there this year, and, that's what's been missing. And it's hard. It's really hard when you've got talented kids who are only going to be there for a few months. And I think they could be special this year in that sense.
That was a big win against Michigan. And Michigan, hands down, best team in the Big Ten. They also only have 2 losses on the year. You have them. Could you make a case your Virginia Cavaliers are the second best team behind the Duke Blue Devils?
Oh, they are. And those 2 teams play on Saturday.
Ooh. Where's it at, buddy?
It's down in Durham. And but those 2 teams play on Saturday, and assuming that Virginia's got a tougher game Tuesday night. Virginia's got NC State in Charlottesville. Duke travels to Notre Dame. It's a road game, but they should win that game. Assume those 2 teams win that game. That game in Durham on Saturday at noon is for first place in the ACC. And if Virginia were to win that game, they would be tied with Duke at the top of the standings, but they'd have the head-to-head advantage. So, Virginia's clearly the second best team. Now, both teams have losses to North Carolina, which is interesting. Virginia's got depth of 9. They play 9 players, 17 plus minutes a game. Ryan Odom in his first year has done a great job. He put together a team in a couple of weeks in the spring that has a lot of talent. Most of the talent overlooked guys who played at mid-majors or even smaller than mid-majors at the D1 level. But they've come together and they play great. And he can do hockey line changes. He'll sub 4 or even 5 guys at a time. The way he plays, he subs guys in and out every 2 or 3 minutes. So they're playing max effort for 2 or 3 minutes. They change out, and there's no talent drop off from the one group to the next. So there'll be a challenge for Duke, but Duke has certainly the advantage of having the home court advantage on Saturday.
Let me tell you something. If they somehow get a top 3 seed in the tournament, that coach you just brought up, taking over for Tony Bennett, he's coach of the year. I'm sorry. There are a lot of great teams. I know you're going to agree with me on this. That is my coach of the year.
Well, only because now so me on the inside, when I saw the roster he put together back in the spring, back in, a couple of weeks of April, the national pundits, so to speak, all said, well, this is a decent looking team. They'll finish 7th or 8th in the ACC. They probably won't make the NCAA tournament, but Ryan Odom will get things back on the right track. Now, I did not see, right now they're 24-3, 12-2 in the ACC. I can't say that I saw 24-3, 12-2, but I saw an NCAA tournament quality team. They had a lot of talent there. It was just a matter of how quickly he can put it together, get him to play his style of ball. The fact that he's the national coach of the year now at 24 with this group. I mean, his players that are playing so well for him, he's got cast-offs from like Toledo, North Dakota State, San Francisco. He's got a couple of European guys that were overlooked. He's got a guy at center in Uganda Anyenso who played at Kansas State and Kentucky and averaged 3 points a game, is playing a big role for this team. So he's turned a bunch of guys who were hungry into a 24-3 team that's getting ready to go to a game this weekend for a chance to win the ACC regular season.
I think ESPN College Game Day, I think they're going to Florida, though, against Arkansas. I mean, look, you could go to any of these games, but I want your thoughts on this. All right, you bring up Duke and Virginia. Okay, I cover a lot of Big 12. I saw Arizona play. They are phenomenal. They are an old school 90s big team down low, and they will beat you up. And they're right there as well. I like Arizona to make a run for the Final Four. I mean, Houston is also, look, Houston was in the title game last year. They're back as another. There's all these juggernauts. Michigan, I brought up. Florida, Todd Golden. Don't forget, he won the national title last year. I don't think his team is as good as it was last year, where you had like 3 NBA draft players. But Arkansas, dude, when you look at the tournament, is this a top heavy? I mean, you bring up Kansas as well. Is it top heavy where these mega powers are going to go win the title?
I even see a lot of strength in where we'll say there are going to be teams in the 5 to 8 or 9 seed range that are really good, who could at least upset some of those teams. Miami, sort of down your way this weekend in Charlottesville, a heavyweight matchup with Virginia. That the game final score was 86-83. Virginia came down to 3 free throws with 3 seconds to go by Virginia point guard Chance Mallory. But Miami is big, physical, and they're going to be an 8 seed, but they're going to beat somebody. I would not want to be a 1 if they're an 8 seed or a 7 seed. I would not want to be the 1 or 2 on Saturday or Sunday the first weekend and have to play that team. That team is, and Jai Lucas, the coach, the former Duke assistant. When I got watching him for 40 minutes doing X's and O's, that Duke could do some X's and O's too. So in the ACC, you got Louisville. It's going to be a 5 or a 6 seed nationally. I would not want to play them. And so there are, there's other teams out there in other conferences. Because of NIL and the transfer portal, talent is so dispersed now that there are teams out there just sitting there in those 6, 7, 8, 9 seed ranges that you do not want to play in the second round, because if you're one of the top 1 or 2 or 3 seeds, you might not make it to Sweet 16 weekend.
I just want you to know, I know this doesn't really matter to the Virginia people watching this, but UCF with Johnny Dawkins, they got to their 20th win in maybe the hardest conference in college basketball. They have some wins that actually matter. They have some bad losses. Dude, if they could just get to maybe 22 wins and just get them as an 11 seed, just get them in the tournament. Those guys are battling every single game. I'm praying for them.
I don't get to watch them very much because I'm so invested in the ACC, but I remember I was in the arena when in 2019.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
The Duke game, man. I was there for that, and they had everything to do. So I know that Dawkins does a great job there, and I'm glad to see that they've moved up and they're playing great in the Big 12 now. Everybody talks Central, outside of Central Florida. Everybody talks Central Florida football, but Central Florida basketball has been around there for a while too.
Yeah, how dare you bring up that game? It was such nonsense. Zion Williamson was on the team. They had no business winning. It's one of the biggest heartaches, but what are you going to do? So, all right, you got some basketball games because we're on February 23rd. What do we have? 2 weeks left until we get left. Yeah. Then good. I'm ready. I am. Let's end with wrestling then. I'm going to play a game with you. Chris Graham, I guess Free Press. I'm trying not to laugh when I do this. I'm going to bring it up. I put a photo on my phone to make sure I could somehow remember this. Okay. Elimination Chamber in the WWE is coming up at the end of the month in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. What do you think on Ticketmaster right now is the cheapest ticket before taxes and fees to get into the building?
Just getting into the building. So like top row, nosebleed, barely can see the ring. I know that WWE tickets have been overpriced for a little while, so I might overstate this, but I'll say $500.
No, I lower.
Oh, actually, look, $250 to get in the arena.
Yeah, $257. Maybe you're looking it up. You're cheating.
No. I only know because I've been hearing, I listen to a lot of, wrestling. I listen to too many wrestling podcasts when I'm working out and that running or that kind of thing. And I know front row tickets are thousands, and but for perspective on that, it's been maybe about a year since I've been to a live wrestling show. AEW came to Norfolk, which is about 2 hours away from me in Virginia. The front row, we didn't get front row tickets. We did get ringside. It was around $100 for ringside.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. But not $257 to sit at the top of the arena and have to look at the people dropping the little T-shirts from the catwalk.
Yeah. Again, a throwaway pay-per-view.
Yeah.
No, and when I say that from the standpoint, no one's going to change belts. No one. It's the road to WrestleMania. It's like, what are you doing? They did some sale. I saw this.
Yeah.
Some sale like 25% off WrestleMania tickets. buy them now. It didn't work. It just,
It's not this. It's not. We're 2 years past really the height of the Roman Reigns and the
Cody
tribal
Rhodes.
chief and all that. They've taken the belt off of Cody. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk are champs right now. McIntyre's a fine wrestler. He's just not. It's not Roman or Cody. And you got to build it back up. I know, but you got to build it back up before WrestleMania. I still think that there's a problem having 2 world champs. You got to reunify those things and put the focus on one dude. And so there's a few issues there. And and they went back to the same place. They had such success in Vegas last year. Hey, let's go back. And people are like, hey, we've been there, done that. So there's a lot of factors working against them there.
$257 before taxes and fees. That is for one ticket to sit at the top of the stadium, not including parking. You're going to get food when you're there. Okay. You're probably not going to buy any merchandise. I mean, are you really going to drop that type of money for wrestling?
And don't forget, this is an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So we get a women's Elimination Chamber, a men's Elimination Chamber, and probably 2 matches in between. So you're doing all that for 4 matches. And one of those matches in between is CM Punk and Finn Balor. And ain't no way CM Punk is losing the title in Chicago to Finn Balor.
He's not. What channel is it on? Is it on ESPN Plus or Peacock? I can't even.
It's probably now on ESPN Plus. I think they finally fulfilled their obligations with Peacock. But it's one of those things where even if you have ESPN on your cable, you got to do something else, and they'll send you a bill. And I mean, so. Yeah, to watch WWE now, you have to have what? You have to have Netflix, then you have to have ESPN Plus. You have SmackDown is what? It's on USA. So I mean, you have to pretty much take out a mortgage to be able to watch all these shows.
Yes. The only one that's on free TV is NXT, which is on a local. We have it here like CW or whatever it is. So I liked Peacock. It was like $10 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the pay-per-view's on there. It's super easy. Make it simple. Go back to the WWE app where, I mean, that was revolutionary for Vince McMahon. Get the app, every pay-per-view's on.
I love the net. Yeah, back in the day, the network. I mean, the WWE network, when it came out in 2014, that was the standard for every sports app.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody copied them. MLB and everybody, NBA League Pass copied WWE. You had all that stuff, the archives. Now that stuff's scattered to the wind too. You have to look on YouTube and find random dudes who posted, their local TV feed from 1986 to see good matches. So, yeah, they went in the wrong direction as they got bigger.
I'll end with this then with you, and I appreciate coming on. So Arcade 1UP released WWE WrestleFest, which was originally called WWF WrestleFest. Okay, so this is like a late 80s arcade game. But because of licensing fees, it doesn't have all the wrestlers in it. No. It doesn't. So it doesn't have Macho Man Randy Savage. It doesn't have Andre the Giant. What are we doing? Why would you buy this product? To play I'm sorry, I'm not having Hulk Hogan fight the Honky Tonk Man. I'm not dropping $700 on this machine. Okay, I'm not doing it.
And what, like the estates of Randy Savage and Andre the Giant, who have been dead unfortunately have been dead for a long time. They're going to sue somebody? I mean, no. WWE you would think would have sewn up those rights years ago. No, that's crazy. And I knew you'd
like that. I knew you'd like. I'm going to send you what it looks like. Okay, literally, you can't look. If you're going to have an 80s wrestling video game, you have to have Macho Man Randy Savage in it. Okay, you have to. You have to.
You have to have the Mega Powers, man.
That was the whole point of that game. It's a tag team game. So the Mega Powers, but there's no Macho. It's like, I don't want Big Boss Man to be with Hulk Hogan. That's not the Mega Powers.
That's not the Mega. You know what? They're going to turn King Kong Bundy face and have him team with him. I mean, come on.
Who's the other one? The Road Warriors are in it, but then they're not. In the original game, they're in it. They're the main bad guys. The bosses, No, they're not in the game yet. What am I getting then for this money? What is?
You get the honky tonk man against Mr. Perfect 38 times. So
I want you next time you're on Washington, D.C. news. I want you to complain about this for me. Okay. My friend in Florida has real issues. He wants
we have real issues that Congress needs to address now.
I'm going to storm the Capitol because Macho Man's not in there. Chris Graham, Augusta Free Press. But man, thanks for your help. Have a great day. All right.
Thanks, man.